Hello. It is I. I have returned. Welcome, Jalapeno Milk, Dee Dee, Lady Vixen, Eric Hawkins, Wild Food. Oh, word. Everybody is here. Well, has it been a while? Or I don't know. When was the last stream I did? 6 months ago. I got busy. Um, I got busy. Oh man. Well, I'm here. I don't have a camera set up, but I'm gonna play a game and say hello. Yeah. Yes. Our little ones are good. Well, that's what happened 6 months ago. Now that I think about it. Yeah. We had our second child 6 months ago. So that is why and when I stopped making videos. Thank you, August Bliss. Appreciate that. Oh yeah. Yeah. It has been interesting. An interesting 6 months. Yeah. Well, so what's been going on? What's been going on with everyone? Uh, Hopefully you've all been good. I've been working a lot, and now I have a slightly more free time. So you might see more videos, hopefully. I have no idea what's going on in pop culture. Nothing. Well, I do have an idea of what's going on in the news, but I haven't seen hardly any of these new things everybody's been watching lately. Or at least what I see some people talking about. Batman, didn't see it, don't care. Finally saw the Spider-Man movie last weekend, I think. We rented the second one, which I hadn't seen, and also the newest one. Excuse me. Oh, that has been interesting to watch those. Basically, shows how this last one showed me how much these new Marvel movies are so bland. Because this one, all it had to do was bring back some familiar elements, and we all thought it was great, wonderful. Oh, yes, indeed, jalapeno milk. A wren made a nest in the tool bag on the bike on my front porch. Maybe you should have been riding your bike more. Or did they just make it like one day you went out there and suddenly it appeared? Uh, I have no idea what's happening in the old comic books world. Definitely don't know. I do know I finished my contribution to Doug Garrett's comic not too long ago. Let's say like I don't know how long ago it was, but I finished it. So I'm not sure when that is going to launch, but I have a short story in that if people interested. Yes, I'm talking to Lady Vixen and everybody else. The bike has been stationary for years. It's like Lady Vixen's bike is in the shed, and I think it's broken, and I'm probably just gonna get rid of it. All right, let us play this soccer game that everyone loves. I'm sure everyone's just a super fan of watching people play this, but I figured if I was going to stream and I don't have a camera set up, I should at least have something happening on the screen. Wing play. Sean, how's it going? So this is a game about indoctrinating a classroom. Are you setting up a dragon for your students? Oh no, it's sports. Now the Enterprise isn't running. It's in for repairs. What? COVID? Is that even a thing anymore? This guy's not gonna come in on a he's not gonna come into my team, but I might as well ask him to. All right. Jalapeno's not 6 feet away. Uh-oh. So what is cool in the old internet world these days? What's the new hotness that everyone's talking about? This is all super exciting stuff. Told you that guy wouldn't come. Let's approach to sign. What? He's not even willing to sign for us? What if we gave him $1 billion? He told us. Dale Keown is doing a new Pit book with the guy who did Magic Cop writing it. Well, that's interesting. Oh, yes, Elon Musk and the Ministry of Truth. That's right. Yeah. Seems like a proportional response to someone buying a company to make a propaganda wing of the United States government that tells you what you should believe. That seems reasonable to me. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that Pit book does. As that is a property that a lot of people who remember the 90s comics fondly, at least the Image ones, have some nostalgia for. I did see that, Jimmy. My condolences. Seems unfair. Magic Cop wasn't exactly known for its good writing. That's funny. Well, one would think that Dale Keown could have whoever he wants to write his stuff, or at least have a decent writer that he could team up with. But it's not my problem. Bayou Billy. Anybody ever watch Spoonie back in the day? He did a review of Bayou Billy. He was funny a long time ago, and then he like went crazy. Yeah, I mean, were the I don't know that Pitt was exactly known for its great writing. It's a good point. Um, that is a good point. I don't know that it was exactly known for its fantastic writing. What's the status on some of these projects I've backed? Like, I think Lone Star 3 was waiting on coloring or something. The coloring was not finished. Doom Kicker. I think those are like the only ones I'm waiting on these days. Everything else I'm pretty sure has delivered. Am I a soccer fan? Yes. Well, P Money, you should just stop reading new comic books. I mean, I think we've kind of gotten to the point where if someone reads a new comic book from DC or Marvel or basically anything mainstream, they're going to be disappointed. Just saying. So it's kind of on you. It's kind of your fault. That's what I'm saying. Where are we expecting? I don't want to overpromise these guys. I'm promising them how well we'll do this season, and we're expected to reach the playoff. Okay. There we go. Make the playoffs. Yay. Playoffs. Playoffs. Soccer fan. I mean, I like watching sports and I don't care too much about soccer. So I can like tune in and watch something and enjoy it. And then it doesn't matter if I don't know what happens the next game. So it's basically only sports I watch. Mike is only NFT these days. Well, he kind of promised to release that comic. Mary Jane Watson is married with kids to a Sean King lookalike. Stop. Just stop. Yeah, Neil Adams died. Lady Vixen told me this morning about that. He's a good artist. I was never. I think I probably enjoyed people that Neil Adams influenced more than I ever enjoyed Neil Adams, just because I didn't read too much of his stuff, to be honest with you. Of the comics that he drew, the only one I think that I own is probably that Batman Odyssey. I have an issue of that. But yes. Has the NFT bubble burst? I don't think anybody bought my NFTs. Did anyone buy my NFTs? I must know. Let's see. How do you search this? Explore. There we go. What? How do I find mine? There we go. Oh, let's see. Nope. Nobody bought that one. What about this one? Nope. Dang. I missed the bubble. And nobody bought them. How terrible for me. Terrible. Oh well. Que sera. Funky Fox Frat House. There you go. Mike never released that book with the Sword of the Conqueror. I think that was on more on Shadiversity's side, if I understand correctly. But I could be wrong. Um, Shadow of the Conqueror. I think it's done. I think he was just waiting for some reason. I don't know. I'm not sure. I thought the art was done. Nope. They denied upon the Chaos monetization, and this never got to 4,000 hours because I stopped doing any videos, and so it never got up to 4,000 hours. Right now it's at 400, so this one's not monetized, and upon the Chaos got denied like 4 times, so that's why I stopped doing videos on it, because it wasn't worth the time I was putting into it. Yeah, problems with colorists. I think so. I think that's the issue with which I understand people want trying to make a living from this stuff, want to do things in a cost-effective manner, but when you are using colorists who are cheaper, it's possible that they don't finish because they're far away, you can't contact them, they're not reliable. It's just unfortunate. I know people have problems with getting art. I mean, even with doing like a 5-page thing for Doug Garrett, I had like the last page to do, and it took me a little while to do it just because I got so busy. And then I wanted to make sure I got it done for him, obviously. But it's hard to do things. Comic Book Hut. Yeah, I just never got into watching his stuff. So for me, I don't know anything about what he's doing. If people are still paying me money on Patreon and the Upon the Chaos Locals page, but that obviously wasn't enough at the time to do this stuff full time on YouTube. Probably put in 5,000 hours into YouTube over 2.5 years. Only made $2,000 total. It's less than 25 cents an hour. Yes, what is it, buddy? I thought you were watching it with mommy. Go take it to mommy. From now on, you do it just for fun. That's the thing. Like, if you're not getting a return on how much time you're putting into something, there's no point in doing it. Like what I was doing with Upon the Chaos, the amount of videos I was putting out, the amount of time it was taking was a full-time job. And people want those videos every day, and they want multiple videos every day for that kind of a channel. And when you're just focusing on current events like that, and the videos themselves don't get rewatched, then you're relying on new videos and not that backlog. And that on YouTube is what's important, is that backlog, because if you have 500 videos and they're making a few cents a day, that's money every day. If they're making $1, $2, some of them maybe even $20 every day, then your new video just is icing on all of that backlog. When I worked at a media company managing their YouTube channel, we put out videos every day, and those would get you a couple $100. But what was really important was having those videos in the backlog that people continue to watch. They continue to continues to get promoted to people. Over 1,000 videos, 3 hours each. Wow. Yeah, I reapplied for monetization yesterday. I doubt they're going to approve it, but you never know. And if they do approve it, then what I'll probably do is start making like a longer video a week, maybe. And just to see if I can get it revived. But it's not going to go back to the way it was unless I'm somehow working full-time for somebody else doing that kind of work. And I can also slide in a video or two a day. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I enjoy why I kept doing FlyFoxPro for so long, other than the last 6 months, was because I do enjoy it. I enjoy coming on here, making videos, talking about what I want to talk about, streaming. I enjoy all those aspects of it. But treating it as a full-time job when you've got to provide for a family is irresponsible. That's too bad, jalapeno milk. I am sorry to hear that. Now I enjoy that kind of work, and I know individuals who work in this type of industries, and it's possible that someday I might do more work in video production and things like that. But at least for the time being, it's not going to be right now. Avatar 2 is coming out this Christmas. I don't know. I mean, let's see, like when I was at the peak of Upon the Chaos, I was getting what, a few hundred a live video, which is pretty good. And then this channel was getting like 30. So I wish it gotten monetized. I would have liked to have kept doing it, but how much money do I even have? I actually have some money available, so I can sign one or two of these players. I'm not going to pay any money for anybody. So. Movies are ruined. Bye, Dee Dee. I think just having fun with what you're doing is the only it's the only way you can do this stuff long term, obviously, because it's a lot of work. There's people that maybe they're like stunningly beautiful or handsome or something, or they're funny, and they can just turn on a video, camera, stream, and get people to join them, and just by talking. But it's like the meta on Twitch with these female Twitch streamers, where like they have to keep one upping it, and then finally they're like just doing outrageous stuff in it. It's like, why? Is this truly fulfilling for you, or are you just able to motivate yourself by money? Kind of crazy to think about. That's like all my money there. If that guy does sign. I've seen several other small channels get denied monetization and also be demonetized in my network. I think YouTube must not be profitable for upstarts. It doesn't make much sense to me that when they had the monetization for every channel, I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. Why you wouldn't want every video monetized? I Unless you like lose it for monetization through putting videos that are against the terms of service or something. I don't see why they ever went away from that model. But then you have things like Rumble. Like Rumble's completely worthless unless you're bringing an audience from somewhere else. You're really not going to make anything on Rumble. Like I have a video on Rumble with like 4,000 views, literally no money. So what? Why? What was the point of even putting the video up? And what is it? What does even a view even mean on there? No interaction. How can you tell if it's really making an impact or if it just somebody saw it for 2 seconds? It's like when I was doing social media management and Facebook was first coming out with monetized videos. And you would look at the stats and you'd get a bunch of views on Facebook. You'd be like, man, we're doing so great on Facebook, but we're not making any money. Why? Well, it's because people were seeing it for like 2 seconds as they scrolled on and and then they'd click off of it. Because if it was a long video, nobody wanted to watch a long video on Facebook. So you would have you could see how long people watched it, and all of your watch time was right in the middle of the video, and then nobody watched it to the end. Absolutely no one. So it's completely worthless. You just had to put like meme videos up that were there for 15 seconds, but then that wasn't long enough to make any money. I'm sure people do make money there, but it's a completely different beast. I think if Lady Vixen streamed playing music and stuff, I think she would be able to do well, but obviously with two little guys, it's not going to happen. Yeah, I wish there was alternatives. There really never has been. Ever since YouTube came on the scene. You had Blip back in the day, but even that was people going to specific websites to watch Blip as an embedded player. It wasn't like you were going on Blip and searching for videos on Blip. And I made money from Blip because everything was monetized. And really, if you could gain an audience somewhere else and show them to your video. But nowadays, with the way social media prioritizes its own content, you can't really get people to go somewhere else. Just because they don't see the links, they don't see your promotion a lot of the time. I'm sorry, Jimmy. We know you did your best. If only you had been able to do it, we'd all be better off. But it is what it is. Elon could have bought YouTube. I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't even think he's that rich. This guy's a pretty good player, but I don't think I need him at the moment. Money, does she make money on TikTok? How is TikTok monetized, if at all? I just want to get to a game. It's taking forever. And to schedule like a friendly game or something. 29 days? That's too much. Too far away. Getting boring. When can I arrange a friendly? Oh boy. It's not as interesting to just do this soccer game if I'm not on the screen. I'm not acting and playing it up. I'm just sitting here with nothing to talk about. Apparently, the Mario movie is a musical. Oh, you know what? I do have a rant. Hervoge, what's up? I do have a rant. The Rescue Rangers movie is an abomination. An abomination. I I try not to get upset about these things. Oh, you're ruining my childhood. Even though they're ruining my childhood. But that looks absolutely stupid. So stupid. It's like they can't take something serious. They can't just make a Rescue Rangers movie. No, it's got to be some meta thing about how they were once Rescue Rangers, or there's this cartoon world and human world, and or it was about the show. And oh my word, it looks awful. Oh, and one of them CGI, and then one of them looks like they're in a Scanner Darkly movie. It'll be great. It'll be it'll be so great. Everyone will love it. I've never seen something that looks as horrendous as that. I'd rather have ugly Sonic than that. This is actually makes me upset. Multiverse is going to ruin a lot of stuff after Spider-Man. I think it honestly, it's even before that. It's the success of things like Into the Spider-Verse or a Lego movie. Any of these children's projects that weren't serious in tone. It goes back to Adventure Time, to the new Teen Titans Go thing. I don't know how new it is these days, but that type of thing, the Thundercats, where everything's irreverent, nothing's serious. You can't have an action show with a little bit of comedy. No, it's got to be a farce. It's got to be making fun of what you liked as a child. You can't just enjoy something sincerely. You know, it can't be for just for kids, or a softer tone family movie. No, it's got to have adult humor in it. Oh, well, if we are making a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, we and it's successful, everything's got to be that. Everything's got to have that level of humor and winking at the camera. Just terrible. Absolutely terrible. It's seriously offensive. Just because It's like, here's this project that people worked on, this piece of art that people worked on, and instead of treating it with respect, instead of treating them with respect and honoring their creation, no, we're just gonna make fun of it. Oh, you liked Rescue Rangers and you'd like to see a feature length film version of an adventure mystery. The animation studio behind the Earthworm Jim reboot has an inclusion and diversity policy. Everywhere it does. The only places that don't are Daily Wire and like lore.tv, these new upstarts that are starting because of this kind of garbage. In some of Burt Reynolds' best movies, he would turn and wink at the camera. And he's Burt Reynolds. He's allowed to. But when you take away Chip and Dale's voice, you poke fun at it, and then you just give them quote unquote celebrity actors, they're playing the roles of Chip and Dale. It's like, no, they have voices. They have a sound they sound like. You know, if Monterey Jack is in it, is it going to be Peter Cullen or what's that name? Yeah. Or you know, the voice of Optimus Prime, or is it going to be Jim Cummings who played him after that? Like, is it going to be somebody doing that voice, or is it just going to be a celebrity? Back in the day, they made a Jetsons movie, and they had the entire original Jetsons cast, including, it was like Mel Blanc's last film, I think, or one of his last films, and they had Judy, played by the original voice actress, and they decided, you know what, we're going to get Tiffany. Yeah, remember that pop star Tiffany? I think that was her name. Totally irrelevant in the grand scope of culture. No one will care. No impact. The impact of her versus just the Jetsons in general is nothing. She had no lasting fame. She has no cultural impact whatsoever. To the degree that I can't even remember if her name was Tiffany or some other vapid Valley white girl name from the late 80s. And they replaced her because the original actress had recorded the voices, the lions. And then they went in and said, oh, well, we're going to put this pop actress in it instead. And now they just replace everybody. You're not allowed to enjoy the shared culture of the United States because they want to ruin everything. The shared culture of the West with things like the Rings of Power on Amazon, which is absolutely horrendous looking, which was specifically created by Tolkien to be mythology for the English people because their mythologies had been destroyed due to being conquered. You had Celtic mythology, you know, you had Welsh mythology, you had the Irish and Scots mythology, you had British mythology, but that British is not English. It's not the English mythology. It got wiped out. And so here he was trying to create a mythology for his people. And no, that's got to have diversity in it. It's like, well, what if I take the mythology from Africa? No, you can't do that. You can't put white people in that. The double standard is all that I'm upset about. It's just silliness. It doesn't make any sense. It's like that stupid Wheel of Time show where you have this ethnically diverse people group. You're like, why? How did it happen? How are there Asians and black people in this tiny little town in the middle of nowhere? I mean, is this continent so big? And how did they get mixed together? Gary Shipman, the one and only. Yeah, meta is a replace for wit for these loser writers. Everything is postmodern. I mean, I've talked about this before, but what you had was you had a level of sincerity that people were creating stuff with. And then postmodernism took over. So you had a lot of humor in the 90s, stuff like Ren and Stimpy, things that people like. Earthworm Jim is one, so blame Doug for part of this. You had this sort of irreverent comedy, but it was still being, it was poking fun at the classic stuff, but it was not taking the classic stuff and changing it and making it like this. And then after that, you had a new generation of animators who had grown up experiencing the sort of postmodern takes on stuff, the sort of deconstruction. And so all they know is deconstruction. So how could they write a reverent, faithful Rescue Rangers? And why would they want to? I mean, what fun is that? Well, I'd rather make some sort of pastiche of it. I'd rather just, well, I can't think of a creative story, a little mystery that kids might enjoy. No, it's got to be a reverent humor and some meta thing where they were actors, or they used to be Rescue Rangers, and like, it's just stupid. And then a bunch of references to other Disney movies. Oh, look, here's Flounder. We had something that was good, that did things like that, that had this sort of universe where the toons existed. It was called Roger Rabbit. And then that was it. That's all we needed. No, alas, they do not pay money. Sorry. We're losing pretty bad, but I didn't think we would win this. Yeah, Rescue Rangers will not be watching that. Absolutely will never watch that. What I don't like about our modern culture is, like, we see something that we hate and we think this looks stupid. And instead of just not watching it, we got to watch it to tell everyone how stupid it is. Like, Star Wars is terrible. I better watch all the Star Wars stuff and tell you about it. It's like when I started saying Marvel was bland and boring, I stopped watching that stuff. And the only reason I watched the Spider-Man thing was because I knew that there was going to be these classic, these characters from the previous movies in it. And I thought, oh, well, at least I'll get to see Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man again. That'll be fun. The moratorium on spoilers for that is over, by the way, in case you didn't know. Well, that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad, Eric. That's a sad state of affairs. I mean, I told people a long time ago that live videos were not going to last them. That it's a diminishing returns. And that the only way you're going to grow subscribers and get new people coming in is by having videos that get into the algorithm and get promoted. And when you have a little flash in the pan, like the whole Comicsgate and Comicsgate adjacent period there, where everyone was all excited about creating new independent comics, it was always going to diminish. The excitement was going to go away. And what's up? And the smart people were able to transition. Well, I don't want to say the smart people, but some people were able to transition and use that to establish a little group of people that were going to buy their stuff no matter what. But when you just make live videos, you're just not going to get new people coming in. You're going to be able to sustain that little market that you have, hopefully.
It's not rain.
It is rain.
Rain.
Do you need to go sit on the potty?
No.
Okay.
When, go away, come again, another. Daddy.
Yes, buddy?
1, 2, 3.
Do you like the soccer game?
Yeah.
And I know because that, I worked at, as a social media director, directing, and managing YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. It was literally my job. And unless you have a podcast style with topics and guests and things that might get promoted to people, and I don't just mean having a free-for-all StreamYard thing, but a structured interview, you just won't get those videos won't get promoted. They won't get into the algorithm and get repeat views. So you have to make things that are evergreen content. Well, it's like this, when I started, people came into this channel and then we started talking and, we're just playing this game. I'm not on the screen. And so only the people that really want to, check in with me and see how I'm doing are going to stick around for the entire time. The usual crowd. But if I put out a video and it managed to hit the algorithm about, I don't know, just pick whatever random movie, like that people might remember that they saw a number of years ago. Like I picked up in The Indian in the Cupboard recently. I haven't watched it yet, but I bought that recently just because I thought that it would be fun to see that again after all these years. And there's some nostalgia for that for people of my age group, maybe a little older, a little younger, where they grew up watching that movie. And if I was to make a video about it, there would be a group of people that would really possibly enjoy that. And it could be an evergreen video, possibly, where it's getting promoted to people who are watching nostalgic type videos. And here's another, Indian in the Cupboard. Oh, I remember that movie. And they click on it and it's a decent little video. And then they say, oh, well, this person's got more videos in a similar vein. Let me watch those. And then they go back and watch their backlog. And there's times when somebody who I follow, like there's a Hats Off Entertainment is one that I subscribe to. And he does like mostly about old comedy movies. And sometimes I'll go, when he puts out a new video, I'll go and I'll say, oh, well, what are some of these ones I've seen before, but that might be interesting? Oh yeah, I remember that. I'll watch that one again. See what he had to say about that. And then he has this content that gets promoted back into me watching it because it knows, oh, he might click on this. So that's just the way that it works. And I mean, one of the biggest examples of having to really adapt your content and not just stick with the one thing is Mark Crilly. Mark Crilly is a comic book artist. Meeky Falls, Brody's Ghost thing. They were, I think, published by Dark Horse. Sort of a manga-esque look to it. And he has 3 million subscribers. As of right now, he has 3 million subscribers. And his most popular video has 31 million views. Second most popular, 18 million views. I mean, he's got a ton of videos that have millions of views. And they probably continue to get some views. But you look at his newest stuff, 23 hours ago, he updated a video. He uploaded a video, 3.8 thousand views of a 3 million subscribers. How many of those are current, active? He had a video from 2 weeks ago, of a tutorial of how to draw an owl, 12,000 views. Well, that's better than 3,000, but you go through there and you don't see anything over 100,000. 32, the most I see for this. They scroll down to 10 months ago. 1 year ago, 18,000. And it's like, those videos stop being in the zeitgeist. That doesn't mean you have to change everything completely. But you look at somebody like Jazza, and he did videos like that. And obviously he's younger and stuff, but he's got almost 6 million subs, and he's got his video from a day ago has 250,000 views. He's got a video from a month ago, 1 million. He was able to adapt with the changes. So when you're doing this for fun, you don't need to worry about that stuff. But when you're trying to promote something, when you're trying to make a living at it, you have to adapt and change, because the culture is changing. The way that the algorithm works, what is it promoting? What are people looking up? As people look up certain things are elevated in the algorithm. So if there is an interest in something in the broader culture and people are looking that up on YouTube, then those types of videos are suggested to it. And then as those types of videos are suggested more and more to those people, the videos that are being recommended to them are curated. So they're never going to see anything outside of that unless they look it up. But if they're only seeing a certain type of videos, like everything on if I just look at the home page on my YouTube app here, Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, self-publishing book stuff, Amber Heard, wrestling, Elon Musk, or it might show a few videos that I've watched recently that I'm subscribed to, and it might be trying to get me to watch those. But there's nothing on here that is not related to something I've not watched recently. There's nothing. It's all stuff I'm either subscribed to something, or I've watched one of their videos recently, or watched a similar topic. There's nothing on here that isn't directly related to something I haven't watched in the last few days. I wish I had never heard of Amber Heard. Why do they think I care? Oh, well, hello, RH Snow. Welcome. It's true, I did fall in a hole. I think it's it's an interesting question. Why is this Amber Heard thing and Johnny Depp thing so big? Uh, it's a new type of reality television. Remember when reality television was huge, and now nobody really cares. There's no real popular reality television shows. I think some people probably still watch like My 600-Pound Life or whatever it is, My 300-Pound Life, whatever that's called. Uh, they still watch some of those shows. Might still be on, but there's nothing that's like huge in the culture. And this sort of fills that niche for people. People used to read the tabloids. They used to read about celebrity gossip and what's really happening behind the scenes. And there's an interest in that kind of stuff. And there's an interest in the drama of it. And then add that there's funny moments in this Amber Heard, Johnny Depp trial thing. And there's some pretty astonishing things that have been claimed. you can see why people might be interested in it. But and people like Johnny Depp, or Dad, who's in a lot of popular movies with a lot of cult fan followings. So, oh, well, so it's like some of that feedback loop. People are watching it, and it's getting promoted, and then people are talking about it because people are watching it, and so then they start to see videos from a bunch of different channels who are talking about it or making clips of it. And so they're like, oh, what's this? Some outrageous thing. And they click on it. And then they click on another one. And so it's this feedback loop where where it starts to get into the algorithm, and the algorithm starts to promote it. And you see it with a lot of things. It's like we had these viral pictures that happened years ago with that dress. Is it blue or is it white? Blue and black, white or gold? Oh, is this person saying Yanny or Laurel? Oh, we don't know. Everybody hears it different. And as people click on it, as they share it, more people see it. And it just gets to a point where everybody's seen it.
He's helping me.
Oh, good. Little guy. Yeah. So, definitely a lot of it is it being promoted to people. These defamation cases are hard. And the Bible says that the first person that comes along to present their case seems right until the other person comes to refute it. And, well, when in a court case, the first person, the prosecution, or in this case, the plaintiff, comes along to present their case, and they're trying to convince everyone that this thing is true. And then the defense has to come and poke holes in that. So you'll see, in this case, so far, only one side has presented their evidence. And it seems like it's pretty clear that everybody that was around these people on a daily basis or interacting with them that has been brought forward by Johnny Depp's side has said, no, I never saw any violence. I don't think he's a violent person. I didn't see any marks on them. I didn't see him hit her. But I did see marks on him, or I did witness this, or she was doing this. And that's because it's the plaintiff bringing forth their case. And hypothetically, the defense will have some witnesses that say, no, I saw this. I saw this person get really angry and he was grabbing her arm or something. You never know. So, whatever. Let's see here. What if I add a photo? Image. There we go. Yeah, it's unfortunate that people are so fickle and they move from thing to thing and they really don't explore things for themselves. I remember I watched Harry Potter and I was thinking about Hermione Granger, and she's so excited about learning everything she can about magic. Like, here's this person, grew up, parents aren't wizards or whatever, and they don't know anything about magic. Then she finds out magic exists and she can do it. And she goes out and she learns everything she can about magic. She reads all the books and she's trying to learn more and more and more. And you have these other characters who they're in the same position. Their parents don't know anything about magic. Harry Potter didn't know there's magic, but he's not doing that, right? Like, he doesn't care. It's like, magic exists. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. But I'd rather go play with my friends. And he's in a world where magic exists. And you're like, man, magic exists in this world. And you don't want to know everything you can about it? You don't want to learn all you can. And then I realized like, well, we live in a world where there's like really interesting stuff. There's history and science, and there's all these different facets of it. And there's art, and you can learn how to make things and do things, and yet nobody does it. They just scroll on YouTube and watch me rant about these things. And we live in a world with magic in a sense, and people don't care. They just get trapped in that YouTube, Twitter, social media trap. I mean, they get trapped in a trap, but they get in that cycle, we'll say, and they're continually scrolling. They're continually looking for the next little fix of something. And we all do it. We're all guilty of it. That interact with social media. That's why, like, I don't plan on letting my boys do it, because, like, man, they got to have some sort of childhood where they're going out and trying to learn things on their own. Like, remember going to the library? Remember having to try to find books about the topic you were going to write about for your report before there was the internet that was widely available? You had to go to the library and look up books about the subject you wanted to write about. You had to read those books, and you had to actually do work and explore the world and do all these things. And nowadays, it's like, oh, I want to research a topic. Oh, just go online. I can just find whatever information I'm looking for right away, and I don't have to actually learn a lot about something. I can just learn the very specific information I need to make my point. Because I'm not reading a book about it and learning about the context of it all. I'm just looking for one little quote. Or, oh yeah, I'm making a video about a review of some old game or some old movie, and instead of like forming my own opinion about it, people go on YouTube, not me. They go on Wikipedia, they go online, and they just copy and paste the first little paragraph, or they just read it and they say, such and such is a movie from 19 blah, blah, blah. Like, oh my word. I mean, do you have to just read things verbatim? Can you form your own opinions about stuff? Can you think about something deeply and think about what it's about? What are its themes? What are the characters' motivations? Or is everything just like, oh, this had action, it's good? Or I like this, it was funny. Oh well. Typical stream. I start out and I don't have anything to talk about, and then I end up just ranting about modern culture and how it's garbage. And I think there are people that like to be creative, and they're always drawing or painting or writing, and I applaud that. I like to do those things, and very few people actually get anything published, whether it's self-publishing, whether it's getting some company to put it out. Very few people get to that level. And then very few of those people last in it, are able to do it for their careers. And there's a level of dedication that it takes to get to that level, to that level of craft. And there's a dedication that I admire. And I when I was a kid, there was a lot of people who liked, who were really into art, and they really loved drawing or music, and they were in bands, and they were in the band at school, and they were in all of the art classes, and they were known to be people that liked drawing. And I wonder if it's like that anymore, or if people are just like, oh no, I like this particular TikTok influencer, or I really like following this person on Instagram. Like, what are people talking about? There were fads and things when I was a kid, but it was usually like for a sustained amount of time, at least like a school year. Now, with as fast as information is hitting these people, what are children even excited about? Like, there is no yo-yo, there is no Pogs, no Pokemon cards. I mean, obviously those things exist to some degree, but there's not the big fad of like, oh, everyone's got to have a yo-yo and trying to learn how to do these tricks, or oh man, Pokemon cards, like everyone's trading them and playing the game at school, and oh well, now we're not allowed to take our Pokemon cards because people are getting upset. And what are they experiencing? Everything's digital. They have tablets and phones at their fingertips at all times, access to as much information and knowledge as they could possibly want, and yet they're just scrolling endlessly on TikTok, watching at best inane stuff, and at worst like smut. Pokemon cards are pretty popular. They were banned at school though. Yeah, they maintain a level of popularity that, but I mean, like I was talking more about them as a fad. Like there was a time when they first came out, when Pokemon was first coming out, when it was just huge. Cultural storm. Every institutional platform is being swept away, rebooted, or mutated. No one is allowed to stay one place long or establish community. Yeah, I think that is what has come. And I think there was you go back, I mean, 10 years even, there was a sense of community. There were these communities that were being built online where people were interacting in forums. They were getting to know people, and these things were growing. And then basically the popularity of social media, where everyone just congregated to these social media platforms rather than individual websites or forums and things, made it so that it was hard to cultivate those communities, because then the algorithm started taking over, because you used to be able to see everything that was put out because you were in a forum or it was like a blog style thing, and you'd see literally every post. So you'd start to recognize the people. But now all the information that you're seeing is curated. So unless you're seeking things out, you can't build that community. Huh? What do you think, little guy? Huh? Does that microphone look fun? You trying to grab it? Oh, you grabbed it. Can you say something? Can you laugh? Make a little noise? No? A little quiet, baby? But anyways, I digress. I could go on and on ranting about that type of thing, but I won't. So we'll wrap it up for today. Maybe I'll get a camera set up or something at some point. But, what? Yes. What do you think, little guy? What are you looking at? Stuff? Everything? Just trying to figure out what everything is. All right, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll do more videos as I have time. And I will probably do some edited videos. If I get the camera set up, I could do what? Do some of those, what was I calling that series of when I look at just a little bit of the video? What was I calling that? Movie breakdowns. That's what it was. Movie breakdowns. So if you haven't seen those, go back and look at some of those, or some of the longer form videos I've done, and maybe I'll do some more of that type of stuff. All right, that's it. Yeah. All right.